Matchmaker Communications 101 presents the 40th Street Group. Kathy Droz and Bob Fishman bring together an amazing mix of business and community world changers, making a difference in Arizona and around the world. And now, let's join Kathy and Bob and the 40th Street Group.
Well, good evening, Bob Fishman. How are you?
I am still mellow in the summer. You know, I've spent most of the summer floating in the pool.
You do. You have a great life while the rest of us work.
But I'm kind of like one of our guests. I'm out bounty hunting, always looking for interesting guests.
Oh.
And so that's hard work. So that's why I need to float in the pool and relax and get my creative juices going.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of like our special guest co-host again, Kelly Sheik, when her juices are bubbling up.
Okay, Bob, let's not go there.
No, I'm saying when
she looks really tan.
When she's really creative, her light bulbs are going on, flash, flash, flash like crazy.
Absolutely.
And so I'm sure she's got her methodologies for
She looks very refreshed.
She does look
She's got quite the tan.
It doesn't. I think this is because she's in the middle of her summer break, so I think that's why she's like looking especially.
Why is it, Kelly?
That's a myth. Educators don't get summers off. Well, administrators anyway.
By the way, happy birthday. We just had a birthday in the studio here,
Thank
right?
you. Yes, we did.
And that's like 28?
Exactly.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Kelly.
Excellent. Happy birthday, Kelly. Well, you know what, Bob, about 2 weeks ago, we had on two gentlemen, one extremely over-the-top successful, and
the other was
and we
struggling.
Had
the other
Joel,
one struggling.
who was over the top, dedicated and emotional and passionate, and I really like that about both gentlemen. And so we've invited them back.
Success? Are you because you made a distinction, like is success on one hand is pure financial, and the other is like
I'm teasing
motivational.
Alan.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm teasing Alan because you know what? I feel like I'm successful and I don't have a pot to piss in. So there you go. All right. So let's go on and let's reintroduce those two lovely gentlemen. And Kelly, do you want to do it because actually these were two gentlemen you brought in
as co-producer?
Yes.
For a day, and then I quit.
That's right.
No, nobody quits from this. I'm sorry, you're stuck.
There's no escape.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to introduce. We'll go with introduce. See, fired if I don't quit. First, with me today we have Alan Ripa, and also we brought along Joel Dunning, and both of them have very interesting careers and how they have met each other and how everything intersects, and that's kind of what this show is about. Alan, you want to give us a quick summary about what you do?
Okay,
Is that possible? Quick, remember.
It's a little hot.
Side of the microphone, Alan.
It's just
Side
warm
of the
out there.
microphone, because it pops on the microphone.
Got it. I'm with Realty Executives. I specialize in selling luxury homes in Town of Paradise Valley, out to Fountain Hills or Desert Mountain, wherever.
If I have $1 million home, how do I get in touch with you?
My phone number is 480-998-0676. That's my office number. Or you can find me online at www.luxuryhomestour.com. And that's LuxuryHomestour.com.
Perfect.
From
Thank
our
you.
last show, we kind of found out that you don't have much time to sell real estate because you're busy with commemorative Air Force, you're busy playing music, you're busy getting your music played on airlines all around the world. So how do you actually find time to find luxury home sellers and buyers?
Well, it's all wrapped up in a day's work, actually. I find them just in events that I go to, open houses. They find me on the internet. I go to radio shows and talk to people I have no idea anything about. It's interesting. You never know when you're going to meet somebody.
But you always bring your camera just in case, right?
Just in case. You never know.
And when we say camera, we said this last show, we don't mean like a phone camera. We mean like professional movie gear. We're actually being filmed in the studio right now.
Absolutely. In fact, why don't you describe your video studio at your home? It's fascinating.
Have you been there, Kathy, or what?
No, I'm working on it.
I actually have it in my office at Realty Executives. So I have a...
so it's totally legitimate photo
Yeah,
office.
it's all legitimate.
But it's
Yes,
a
my
home.
office is about as big as the studio, and so it's its own studio in itself. And I produce everything right there with video, music,
What are you producing
and
generally?
animation.
Animation is what? What are you producing?
Well, I do the video, custom photos of the homes, and then I take the floor plan and I create that into 3D layout so that you can get a perspective of the home in a 3D model, and then I can take that model and put it on the actual lot. And so they can see that. And then I get an aerial view of where the home is.
And you're filming that by what form?
Well, that's through a camera, and the 3D is through a program that I have to build the home from the
when
blueprints.
when you're getting the aerial viewpoint, how's that being done?
Well, I'm working with a helicopter company now, and so
We were fortunate. Real quick story on this. Sold our home a couple of years ago, and boy, did the video make a difference.
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible what that video does in terms of we almost didn't recognize our home. It just looks so beautiful. It was really. It was a really nice home, but boy, the
Beautiful
video
home.
added a dimension to it. So I give you a lot of credit for doing that.
With the luxury homes, we'll get up, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20. I've shown 30,000 square foot homes, and the problem is getting an understanding of the floor plan. And this is by doing the floor plan in a 3D environment, gives the prospective buyer of actual feel of how the home is laid out on such a big scale to where they can get an understanding of it.
How long of a video is a typical? When you're talking about a big house, how long of a video are you producing?
Well, I've done up to 10 minutes, but it takes about a month to put one of these videos together. I did John McCain's former home, and that...
He doesn't know how many homes he has.
Exactly.
That's true.
Well,
The
it
one
was-
on Central?
Yeah, on Central.
That's the house I want.
Oh. Well, that's
Do you have any connection?
it's sold already.
Yeah.
Bummer.
So we only have a couple minutes left in this segment. Let's get a little bit of a catch up with Joel from 2 weeks ago. Joel Dunning, just give us a little bit of recap on who you are, what you do. And
Well,
so
I
forth.
wanted to tell you why Alan was recording this, because he's never seen a dropout bounty hunter before. There's not too many of us in the world. There's only
you have your-
3 million kids drop out in America a year.
How many?
3 million, 3.03 million. We have 8,000 here. So my job is basically working with a school is to go in and grab these students, put them on online learning and a blended learning model where we have teachers that work with them also and labs, and we get their diploma, no matter if they have 1 credit or 12. And, they need 22, and they need to get those 22 credits before they're 22, or the funding runs out for dropout bounty hunters like myself.
And we learned from our last show that you're working with Kelly Sheik and ACYR with a new program. Can you describe that?
That's a partnership to where we use her lab, her building, and we take her kids, actually, if she has any dropouts in her building, but anything around her immediate area, we take those students, put them in our labs, put them in our blended learning model, and get their credits.
And are you going to be working in the ACYR facilities at all? Or
I have an office there, yes, so I'm there.
And the ACYR, Kelly, is located where?
ACYR's 649 North 6th Avenue, and they really do a wonderful, unique job about working with the youth in downtown Phoenix. Anything from employment to education. I mean, they're a full wraparound service.
And why did you, recap again, why did you decide that what Joel's doing with the dropout recovery program, what was your interest in that?
Well, Phoenix is the number 1 dropout metropolitan area in America and the USA, so there's definitely a market, and his program is something unique. That's brand new legislation to the state of Arizona, and the market's there. It's just finding those kids that have dropped out and getting the message to them that they can go back and earn their diploma.
And Bob, what's great about this partnership is we can give students clothing, jobs, we can find them housing. We do things that no other model can.
Let's pick this up after our commercial break. We are the 40 Suit Group, Bob Fishman along with Kathy Trose, Kelly Sheik. In the studio, we've got Alan Ripa and Joel Dunning, and we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
we are back to the 40th Street Group. I'm Kathy Drozo along here with Bob Fishman. I have to speed it up, so I thought I'm doing a great job. Kelly, how are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Good. And you, Alan and Joel, how's it going?
Great, going great.
Great,
just
great.
wonderful. I just love it.
Why are you speeding it up so much, Kathy?
You told me to go
No,
fast.
no, we have to, we have time constraints. We have to, fit our
okay.
show within certain time. This is actually terrestrial broadcasting.
Oh, I thought
It
you
doesn't
meant I
mean
had
to
Tourette's.
speak fast.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Terrestrial.
Okay.
It's kind of like terroir.
Terroir,
Is a
terroir.
wine
Well,
bar in Scottsdale.
we can go
I
listen
understand.
to them play. We haven't talked to him about
That's tomorrow.
He's always butting in. Did you
He's
know?
taken over.
He really has.
He's a very. Go ahead.
So,
Kathy.
Alan and Joel, tomorrow you're playing at a wine bar. Do you drink any wine prior to playing?
Sometimes you have to because you
Okay.
have to loosen up, especially I play a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan blues,
Neat.
You
Now,
mean By the way, by
You
tomorrow
play
you
the
mean
guit-
Wednesday, don't you? You don't mean tomorrow. You mean
I don't
like
mean
Wednesday.
tomorrow because tomorrow's Monday.
Yeah,
Duh.
Yeah. So Wednesday
Okay,
they're
sorry.
playing. Yes.
So on Wednesday, are you play the guitar? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, play guitar and sing. I write music, and I used to play in a rock band in college.
So
Helped
Joel,
pay
you're-
bills.
you're
Yeah, I was
playing
a college
piano.
football player.
Alan, what are you playing?
No, he's playing the guitar, not the piano.
No, I know he's playing the he's playing the guitar.
Guitar.
I'm sorry.
You s- yeah.
And Alan, what are you playing?
I won't be playing
No,
tomorrow
he
night.
does video.
But he plays. He plays. He's got.
He's
from
a
what we saw, well,
pianist.
you've got 3 albums you produced, right, of your own
Yes,
music. Is that,
that's correct.
And by the way, was that strictly piano, or was that full? What? And was that in the Ethereal brand, or was that in the
Whoa,
New Age? What was
whoa.
that in? What
The
was
first album was in the new age aspect, so it was more piano. Then the second album, which came out in '92, was had some other instruments on it. And then the third album came out in 2000, and that also had other
And
instruments on it.
were you doing the other instruments computer-wise, or were
No.
you joined with a group, or what?
I actually would do the arrangements and then hire the musicians to play. And the second album I recorded here, and then the third album I recorded in LA at Chicoria Studio.
And so, what was the Emmy Award-winning thing that you got?
I did some animation for a company, and so it was. I was awarded for motion graphic designer and advanced media.
So you're like a visual arts guy too, then, is that right?
Yes.
So animator is a whole different thing. We've got one of our friends in the 40th Street group, Susanna Holt. She's also an animator. There's a lady who played polo with Prince Charles many years ago. The only female on his polo team. Very interesting. We have an interesting group
She's
of
the
people.
one
Wow.
who does the sculptures for Holland American. Yeah, she's also
Wow.
she's like him. We don't like her either. They're both very talented.
Too talented.
They're too
Yeah.
talented for our group. Yeah, we're more average people. We don't need this high level
Really.
of competition. But
I
so,
like Joel.
Joel is a very
Thank
nice
you.
guy.
Thank you.
But Alan, how did you get into animation from all these other things? And by the way, did you give up this stuff along the way, or do you still animate, or what? Do you make fake houses when you're doing luxury real
Just
estate
answer those
sales?
one at
or-
a time.
I know. So really,
Yeah.
what?
Really?
So you've got music.
No pressure.
You've got music. You've got Air
you write
Force.
that
You've got
down?
animation. Do you do all these things all at the same time, or what?
Well, no, I have to pick and choose which ones that I focus on for that day. Or
Otherwise, you'd be ADHD, right? ADHD. Like,
Well, no,
And you're sounding like you are. So-
Alan's a workaholic. He called me. I called him last night, and guess where he's at? His office the night before. Hey, I'm at my office. If you want to bring your guitar and we'll record. That's just Alan. He lives, and he's a workaholic.
it's long days, but I love it, and it's just something that I hate to leave, and then when I do leave, I can hardly wait to get back. And that's just something, that's where it becomes you're working with your passion because it's not work. And I'll count down the hours, and every hour goes by so quick. And it's like, okay, one more hour. I'll do one more hour. And this goes on until 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in the morning.
so are you
think
still
it's great.
animating? Are you still making music?
Yes, I do music, and the animation, that's something that takes a lot of patience. I'm not a doctor, but I do have a lot of patience. So
This is one of
it's
those real estate jokes again.
I want to tie this back into education, though,
Okay,
because
please.
I believe,
Yeah, give
as an
it-
educator, 17-year principal and another 12 teaching. If you could
You don't
teach
look
kids
that
in
old.
school, if you could teach them to find their passion and what they love, like Alan has, and this took Alan quite a bit. Did public school do that for you at all, Alan?
no.
How did you bring on all these skills, and what makes you passionate about them, and why, and how long did it take you to learn all that?
When you make me think of my public school, I can remember being at Kokopah. I grew up here,
Yeah, I know
and
Kokopah, yeah.
I would.
We've had one of the teachers from Kokopah in here.
I would do jokes, and one day we were taking a test in 7th grade, and my homeroom teacher, Mrs. Hayes, and for some reason I got up, I went up to the sink, I shook out the Ajax, and I saw that Ajax shakes out white turns blue. So I went up to the front and said, Mrs. Hayes. And she's like, yes, Ellen. I said, Ajax shakes out white turns blue. And she goes, to the office.
There's that coercion thing I'm talking about.
Oh my
Because
And then I'm the
threw a curve
principal.
at her, is that it?
So-
Right, and then I'm saying, okay, that's 3 days for interrupting her class, right? And then
Yeah.
I suspend him, and he loses 3 days.
And
of
then I got
public
a
education.
SWAT. I had to grab my ankles. Back then, we got SWATs. And so I got a SWAT, and then the principal told me that if I wanted to be a comedian, I should be on Red Skelton show.
Coercion.
There you go.
Whoa, wait.
His
But-
start.
But this is how we all grew up back when, So,
Sure.
So you're saying that this made you creative then? This is Joel's point, that because they treated you this way, that made you very creative, I guess, right?
It threw me right into therapy. I've been on meds ever since.
So, Kathy, you can relate to this, right?
Oh my, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you grew up with Smart Alec in New York, right?
Yeah, I went to Catholic school. It was worse. You had to bend over and get hit. I don't want to go there. Can I get back? I
Yeah,
mean,
please get back.
This man is so interesting, but I want to ask Joel another question. Okay, and I forget what it is now. But so, Joel, I was talking more about your. Let's get into your personal life.
We can do that.
Okay. So, your parents. You mentioned your mom was a nurse.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and dad.
Car salesman, actually. for
Oh,
a
my
while.
kind of guy. All right.
Tractor.
So you got into this. You mentioned you're the youngest of 6. I found that very interesting. Okay. And then are you, do you have a significant other in your life?
I do. Yeah. I do. And then I lost that about 3 years ago. So I went through a divorce.
Oh, I'm sorry.
31 years. And then,
Wow.
yeah, you lose a son. I mean, he went, and graduated a hockey player. We were
Yes.
together a lot. And he, grew up.
Is it that empty nest kind of thing? It's
I
just
think
so
that
much-
was part of it, but that's what I was saying about the stress on the family and our
Right.
culture now. It seems like we're bailing on that family unit, and that's what hurts schools and society. If you want to bring that back that way, and I think schools are under that stress, and how do we deal with it, and how does society deal with that, and that's important. And what we do in the next 5 to 10 years is critical. Getting back to you're from New York, turn it on. You know how much money we spend per year in New York for students to go to school?
It's a lot, isn't it?
It's about 14,000, 15,000. You know what they spend here in Arizona? About 7,200, the lowest in the wonderful states of the United
Yeah.
States.
We have to pay the
charter
luxury real
schools,
estate people in New York.
That's
the-
true.
The
Yeah.
price of the real estate. So they
Probably
can
why
afford to
I
buy them.
sound so much more intelligent than the natives here.
Because you
Yeah.
had
I
more
had
money
that
spent on you,
New York
right?
education.
Yeah.
I'm joking, of course. Of course. I'm the only person that has to have everything edited. So this is very interesting. So you now are single,
I am.
okay? And you have a son, you said, who's in
20
education.
26-year-old just getting his master's and going to work for Tollefson District. Math
Ver-
teacher.
Very, very interesting that he went in that same direction. Now, you, young man, Alan, is there a significant other for you?
Yes, I do have a significant
And
other.
she's tolerant of you working till 2 a.m. at your office?
No, she's in bed. She usually
Okay.
is sleeping by
Okay,
then.
but supportive.
Very supportive and doesn't understand everything I do, but
Who
supportive.
does?
That's
Who does?
better. It's
Yeah,
better
who does?
when our spouses don't get,
Yeah.
our signal. I think it's better that way. Well, that's very interesting. Thanks for sharing all that. Kelly,
Hi, thrown under the bus. Just
is there, what about you? Is there a significant other in your life?
Kelly's
Well-
working on that too, I think.
Well,
I was
Bob-
unaware of that, but
Listen,
anyway,
we
we're
pick
going to
up-
leave that
There you
cliffhanger
go,
because
good.
we're about to go into break
All
here.
right, let's
Yeah.
go on a break. Maybe Mike, are you single? You are?
Sounded
Oh, look,
desperate.
we got all-
There you go.
All right, listen, I got to take us to break here so we can get back and find out more about all these single status. Bob Fishman along with Kathy Droz, Kelly Sheik. We've got Joel Dunning and Alan Ripa in the studio with us, and we will be right back after this commercial break for another segment of the 40th Street Group.
Hi, here we go. Welcome back. We are KFNX 1100 AM, and right before break, Kathy was pinpointing each of our guests here, Joel Dunning and Alan Ripa, on their personal status as far as single or... And I believe your question was, Kathy, but
Yeah, I was wondering if what your status was, and
You mean like not just as the principal of ACYR,
that would be correct.
but you're talking about other status?
Yeah, is there a significant other? Do you care if there is or there isn't? Do you, what is your, where are you from originally?
okay. I am single, single mother of 2 teenage boys, very athletic boys, and where I'm from, back in Michigan, but that's about all I have to say about that.
And that's more than enough.
All right.
Thank you. I'm done.
Oh, thanks
Gosh,
a lot.
I wanted
All
to tell her about my significant other, Tracy Miller, who helped us with this amendment. She is a very brilliant legal mind here with Ogletree Deacon, and she actually stepped up and went to the board meeting with us and actually changed our amendment. So shout out to Tracy Miller, my girlfriend of 4 years, and great human being.
Okay, so wait. So,
Thank you, Tracy.
So at the time you were, I've had to make some breakthroughs along with Kathy with our young reporters kids in terms of how do we get our program out into the schools when the bureaucracy is kind of used to doing things the way they're used to doing it. And so if you come at them with something that's a little bit off the wall or a little bit different, not everybody is, if it doesn't come up through the system. And by the way, I'm a big promoter of public education because my wife's been in that for years and years. There's so much abuse dealt out at public education, and it's the number one target for talk radio. It's such an easy target. It gets blamed for everything. And so whether it's charter schools or public education or homeschool, but there's a lot of crap thrown out at public education. Right. So I'm a big defender of teachers. I'm a defender of the unions, even though the unions can be a problem, but they're such an easy target. And yes, they are a bureaucracy at times, but there's a lot of good people doing the work in those things. But I do recognize it is a bureaucracy, and it's very hard to break through. And I've had a real struggle breaking through, even though I've met some wonderful people in the State Board of Ed, but to make a breakthrough is very hard. And we're in the process of making breakthroughs, and you just made your breakthrough. And I know you spent a year plus trying to make that breakthrough. How did you finally make your breakthrough?
Well, I think with people like Kelly here, a dedicated educator her life, and then someone like Tracy Miller who saw something that helped students and really believed in it after we explained it to her. But also when you talk about bureaucracy, we make things so complicated for people. I couldn't explain this to a principal of 10, 15 years. It would take me 20 minutes to explain the law and how it was different. And like you say, we make things complicated. But once you get into, the program, and you, like you said, you mentioned your wife are great dedicated people who want to teach and pass on, what they know. And that's really what the bottom line is. If you can just connect the dots with those people, get out of the way, state standards or not, teach them what they need to know to go to third grade to fourth grade, then it works. The system works, and not badmouth it. Get in and roll up your sleeves and help. Come down and help at Kelly's school. If you're a lawyer, come tell kids how I can be a lawyer, what I had to do. Tell them your story.
It's
and
thinking
that's what
outside
kids
the
remember.
box. It is. I mean, we've been teaching kids the same way in a classroom, book, pencil, paper for 100 years now. And, times are changing, and education is just unfortunately slow to take on any change. And I'm, as an educator, kind of one of those that always thought out of the box. I mean, is a kid going to learn more sitting in a classroom or actually going out and visiting whatever topic it is that they're learning about? I mean, it makes them much more interesting. And, that's why, we were talking earlier with Alan about I'm not sure, commemorative aircrafts. And
commemorative Air Force.
I mean, what a great way to learn history. Or would you rather go home and read chapter 12? I mean.
Kathy, did you notice how Kelly can talk a lot when she's talking about something like this, but when she's talking about her personal life, it just kind of goes real quiet?
I noticed, and I'm taking notes.
That was excellent. That was an excellent, really, Kelly. That's quite a contrast in terms of your subject matter there. But it was very, very informative. Okay. Alan, back. So we've learned that you were motivated in the reverse sort of form by being punished when you were trying to be creative. But somehow we never did get how you got to the creative part of you. How did that get encouraged rather than discouraged?
Well, it started with piano lessons, and my mother wanted one of the 3 kids to play piano, and I was racing motorcycles as a kid, and so I had no interest in it whatsoever. And the day the piano teacher showed up, my brother wasn't there to take his guitar lessons, so she didn't waste the money. She said, "Why don't you take the piano lesson?" And so I...
You said, "Oh, do I have to?"
Exactly. And my friends would sit outside our living room window and laugh at me. And then one day I had enough of it. We did 6 months and didn't do anything. Hot crust buns, that's all I could do. And then she picked me up from school one day and said that Roger Williams had this new school that came out, and you'll play Autumn Leaves in 3 lessons. And so she said, "You can try it. If you don't like it, you can quit." So I did the 3 lessons, and sure enough, I was playing Autumn Leaves and crossing my hands and all this. And 6 weeks, I did a TV commercial on Channel 10, From Chopsticks to Love Story. And then 6 months later, I got my first job playing at the Carefree Inn. So I was
How many months
How
later?
old were you?
6 months.
6 months later? And
6 months old?
How old are you?
I wouldn't be surprised.
How old are you at this point?
I was 12.
12. So,
Oh my
wow.
gosh, that's fantastic. So is that a protege?
Yeah, that's what
Protege? Yeah, that's a protege.
I get it confused.
Yeah. Well, you got the New York education. You can use a big word like
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
$14,000 spent on you went a long way.
And then
Plus tuition.
so I got into a group was called Phoenix Young Entertainers, and we played all over the valley and different events. But it was all talented little kids, and so
Okay, so
That was the start
did
of
the
it.
music lead to other creative things then? Because like you said, you used to just want to crash motorcycles originally or something.
well, I raced motocross, and then I had an interest in airplanes, so I started flying sailplanes when I was 16 out at Turf Soaring School, and then I got into
Oh,
power.
so you're a glider pilot too then?
Yes, I started in
Fantastic,
gliders.
yeah.
Of course, right?
But do you see how school, well, in this case, his mother probably forced him or coerced him into something, and it grew. And if we don't do that in education and make it broad-based with
But you were
the
just,
arts.
But you were just speaking against coercion, though.
Well, in this case, I guess, in Alan's situation.
With Alan, you got to coerce.
Yeah, you got to
I suppose,
coerce
right?
him.
Yeah,
There's some
But
students.
I have to also. My mom is an artist, and so I grew up with
What
the
kind of
paints.
artist is she? Oh,
she did oil paints and china painting and all that. So I grew up with all the crafts and everything in the house, and so that got me involved to where then I was buying and restoring cars, and then I was painting them, and so that led into all kinds of other things, and then. I got into computers in '94, and that's what got me going into the computers. So.
Are you good at math?
Okay.
Because usually artists are.
You mean there's
10
2 minutes left? That's why. That's the.
2 minutes. Yeah. But they say, artists, you're kind of more that left brain that you typically do better in math than.
Well, what it is I did a test, and it was from college in Chicago. And what it was, one of the gals that was the manager of the music store that carried my products said that I was left and right brain. And so they had a test, and it was from Chicago Medical School or whatever. But anyway, I took it, and they said that I was right down the middle, that I was both left and right. And
So does that make you like an IQ? Is that genius? Not a
It's-
lot of
it's
people
just that you-
usually prefer one or the other
you
side.
can do creative, but you can do analytical. So it's and I found that in aviation, there's a lot of pilots that fly, and a lot of people that do music are pilots. So
Great.
Yes, that
Great.
is
That is
very
interesting.
Very
Just to close, interesting. If you have a student that's out there and they're not finished with their high school diploma,
How do
the
they get in touch
Dropout
with you?
Bounty
How do
Hunter
they get in
is
touch
out
with
there.
you?
Graduation First, AZ.
GraduationFirstAZ.com. And
it's
this
a
is for
website.
any dropout person that needs to complete their high school, basically, right?
From 16 to 22 years old.
What if they're only at 7th grade? Can you take care of that too or
No, I can't. We want to keep them in school until they're 16, and then maybe they can have a choice, an informed choice, but we don't want that.
And when we come back after break, we'll get Alan's contact information. We're the 40th Street Group, Bob Fishman, along with Kathy Droz, Kelly Sheik, Joel Dunning, and Alan Ripa. And will join us right after these last set of commercial breaks.
So they.
Hi, good evening. Welcome back. We're the 40th Street Group here at 1100 a.m. And I am your co-host producer today, Kelly Sheik. And our regular hosts, we have here Bob Fishman, Kathy Droz, and some very fascinating guests today, Joel Dunning and Alan Ripa. And before we get back into where we left off before break, Joel, why don't you go ahead and give us your contact information for Graduation First, a brand new online high school program that is offered down here in Phoenix.
Yes, Graduation First. It's easy to contact us. Just go ahead and type in graduationfirstaz.com, and that'll take you to our website, and that will pretty much explain the whole program. You can actually get online and register, and I'll look for your transcripts and call you right away, and you can look at the program and see if it fits you. But if you're one of those dropouts out there and you want a future and you want to dream big, I have people that can contact with you, get in contact, and change your life.
Or
and
if you're a
dream
grandmother
big.
or uncle of a dropout, that can make that referral for them. Or
Sure. We all know someone that's
but
dropped out. It's a
when you
perfect place
bounty
for
hunt, if somebody calls you that's a parent or grandparent or uncle, can you, if they say, I got this kid that's struggling, can you actually do some of the chasing down if necessary?
Yeah, if they want me to come by and meet with them because there's an issue there, sure, I will come by. That's no problem. And usually they can get on my website and I can get them on the phone and talk them down and teach them that
So
you know
you
what
are
life
kind of a
is.
bounty hunter in a way.
I am. There's a passion for it, and I think anybody who cares about kids knows that a diploma is so important. So important.
It really is, really is. And then, Alan, do you want to go ahead and give us your contact information?
Okay, sure. Alan Ripa at Realty Executives, and the phone number there is 480-998-0676. And then also the website is www.luxuryhomestour.com, and that's LUXURYHOMESTOUR.com.
Thank you.
And Kelly, by the way, since you're involved with the program that Joel's doing at ACYR, why don't you give contact information for ACYR?
Sure. ACYR stands for Arizona Call-A-Teen Youth Resources. They've been in downtown Phoenix for almost 38 years, and they're a truly wraparound service for youth in downtown Phoenix, 14 to 24 years old if they're looking for employment, want to finish their education. We have GED, we have employment skills training, we have a charter high school, and with Joel's program, we have a dropout online high school available to students that have not been in school for over 30 days and want to get their diploma.
And Kathy Droz, since we haven't really talked to you about this in over a month, and our guests in the studio, especially Alan, who's into everything, doesn't know about the various things that you do probably. So give us a quick summary. I know you were involved with the NFL players. You're involved with Silent Witness. You've been in automotive journalism. So give us your quick summary, will you please?
I can't even come close to Alan, but
Who can?
Okay, so I've test driven over 500 cars for manufacturers. And that's about it. I'm
That's
an
on camera,
automotive
by the way. That's
journalist.
great.
Got that on
okay.
camera,
It's on
so-
camera, sorry.
That's good.
Automotive journalist, test driver, worked with the WWF, the NFL, the police.
WWF, meaning World Wrestling Federation? Really?
Yeah, I
didn't
did
know that.
it's an offshoot of WWF, WWE. I went to Maine in the bitter winter to shoot a pilot. I got in the ring, and I said that we were turning wrestling into family friendly, and I got booed out of the ring.
I hope it wasn't a pilot at the Commemorative Air Force you shot.
Heck no!
No, not that
Were
kind
you
of pilot.
there?
No,
Not that kind of pilot. It was a TV pilot.
I'm sorry.
TV pilot. So yes. So
And then you've got a book, right?
uh-huh.
And the book is?
Of course she does.
Yes.
Of course they do.
The book is
How to buy a car if you're a woman, and
Well, it has. It
it's
used to
had
have
a few
title.
titles. It did.
Do these
Don't-
high heels? Do these high
High
heels
heels
make me look
stupid. A woman's guide to buying a car without a guy.
And this is a program that you offer to dealers all around the country.
Sales training, how to sell to women.
Okay, I'm detecting some attitude and tone with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like
She's
New
from
York.
New York. What
Hello.
says, so yeah. So that's
Thanks, Bob, for asking. And you, sir?
Me, I'm just I teach a course on communications at various schools, including ACYR, and we do the Young Reporters radio show here. I had a background in manufacturers representing furniture products many years ago. long before I moved to Arizona, and so back then I was like in the power category of like an Alan, like an Alan.
You were,
but
you definitely.
then I've kind of come down to everybody else's normal world of struggling to find your place in the world, but with good things that are like what he's doing with the Commemorative Air Force. I think
Absolutely.
that's phenomenal.
I think it's
that Alan is
fantastic.
making time to. No,
giving back.
We're teasing him like crazy because he's a lot of fun. He's a great guest.
Oh, wonderful.
Great guest. But we're giving him a little bit of hassle because he's in the big money. And most people in Phoenix aren't,
Well, no, we don't know that. I mean, did he pull up in a Rolls Royce? I mean, what's
I haven't
going
seen
on
the
here?
car yet. But,
well, I'll check that out.
Actually, he hitched a ride with Joel, so
that's what big money people do. They usually hitch rides with people.
Bounty hunters drive
The bounty
trucks in
hunter.
case I get
You need
more
to
than
get
10
that.
kids.
Oh my gosh, you have to put that on the side of your car.
It's a good idea. Yes.
So as we're go ahead, Alan. You got a comment. Go ahead.
I just wanted to remind the listeners that
Assuming
assuming
that we have listeners. Go ahead.
All 7.
yes, that this will be available online. So not only can they enjoy us on the radio, but they can actually see the video with
this
the
happened.
audio
As this really happened.
on YouTube. And they can laugh through the whole show once again.
wow, this could kind of pan out into our own reality series. If
There you go.
We make producers out of everybody. Why not, Kelly?
be a producer for a day.
Yeah, we're gonna have.
quit.
I think we're gonna have Alan and Joel co-produce and co-host at some point here. I think they're fitting in really well.
I'm busy that day, though.
Of course you are.
Liz, by the way, we want to talk about Michael Connor back there, who has helped us with our last 2 shows to get us on the air and make us sound good. Any last? I know we got a few more minutes here, but a suggestion was made about the impact that since Joel's in the teaching business and Kelly's in the teaching business, and Alan is into every kind of business out there, and we've already heard Alan's Ajax moment in the
Right.
classroom. So, Joel, is there a significant teacher moment in your life? Because
Yeah.
you were sort of bringing that up as a potential.
Yeah, there was a Mr. Reed way back when I was in high school and just was going the wrong direction. I was about 10th grade, and he grabbed me by the shirt one day and said, "Look, you can be anybody you want to be. You have talent. You have dreams. Why are you doing what you're doing right now? You need to straighten up, and I'm going to be here to watch you and help you the whole year so we can do this the hard way or the easy way." And it turned me around. It made me think, you know what, I need to do things that help me and please him. And I wanted to please him because he cared. And that's what that teacher
And I think
did
that's
for me.
interesting again
Very
because
cool.
it goes back to, and again I'm with Joel on this. I don't like to be coerced, but every once in a while you need that coercive moment to get you sort of at least get your attention if nothing else. Because a lot of kids out there they're just so attitude, and nobody's going to tell them anything.
Well, and a champion for you. I just knew that he cared and he believed in me. And as soon as an adult believes in an adolescent and
Yes.
they go, you know what, that person really
Totally.
cares. And it's not really coercion. It's just that I love you. And when you say I love you to a person, it just changes their life and how they, look at the situation.
Very good.
Kelly, how about you? A quick teacher story?
Mine's kind of, all the teachers I had in high school, I found out were all alcoholics and just drinking in the teacher's lounge.
Perfect.
And I mean, we had the coaches. It was terrible. It was terrible. And I mean, it just.
And this influenced you
You know,
to
and
do
here
what?
I'm getting a bad grade because you can't
Exactly.
see the paper you're grading. I go in everything through the back door. Everything I've ever been involved in.
That's a very motivating story. Then
Yes,
so
of
on. Thank
course
you,
that's
Kathy.
not legal,
You got a big
not
story.
anything we do.
Of course, now Kelly's a principal.
No.
So Kathy,
So happy hour on.
I think we're going to have to end up on this note. There's a wonderful inspirational note. And you did a great job co-producing and co-hosting. And I'm going to have a drink after the show.
Oh my God!
Not in the
we are the
teacher's lounge,
40th,
please.
40th Street Group.
This is your principal, children.
Bob Fishman, along with Kathy Rose, Kelly Sheik, our special guests today, Alan Ripa and Joel Dunning. Thank you all for listening.
you.
Our audience
Thank
of
you.
7 has
Thank
been
you
a
very
lot of
much.
fun. Thank you guys. We'll see you in a couple
There was
weeks.
the rest of that story.